Hello, I'm Rob Phillips, and welcome to my channel. Today's Yin Yoga practice is going to be all about the idea of balance. And so when I'm using this word balance here, I'm not talking about balance like standing on one leg. I'm talking about balance in the broader energetic sense. So if you've been feeling a little out of sorts, a little internally misaligned or unbalanced, something like that, this practice will be an ideal chance for you to work with that. So just to set the stage here, when I talk about these bigger pictures of energy, what I'm really talking about are the ideas of yin and yang. So yin is the energy that's more calm, it's more grounded, it's the type of energy that we emphasize in this sort of practice. That's contrasted by yang energy, which is more dynamic, more fluid and moving. What we're going to explore today are some ways to introduce just hints of that yang energy, even here in this yin yoga setting. And if you've never practiced this way, it's a really powerful way to find a slightly different equilibrium, kind of adds a new layer of subtlety to these practices. So as we get started, as usual, I recommend having a blanket and a couple of blocks. And as always as well, if you enjoy these videos, please be sure to give a like and a subscribe and check out my additional resources that I have linked in the description down below. For now, let's find a seated posture. So maybe you'd like to sit up on a blanket. You can also lie down on your back if you want to be a little more comfortable there. But as we find this posture, even from the very beginning, we can start to introduce some of this idea that I've been talking about of balance and equilibrium. So can you align yourself in such a way that the lower body feels truly grounded and rooted? The spine feels light and lifted. Softening through any tension in the shoulders, softening through any tension in the face. Bringing a sense of equilibrium even into how we approach this very first posture here. Similarly, as we drop into this, you can start to bring a sense of balance into your breath. So we don't need an overly strong breath, but maybe inviting just a little bit of energy to it. Feeling the natural rise and fall, feeling that natural expansion and contraction for yourself here. Nice, smooth, easy rhythm of things. And here, as we take just a few more slow breaths, consider asking yourself, what could it be possible for you to let go of in the body? What could it be possible for you to let go of in the mind? Feel that sense of being here with things as they are and use that as a way to help approach this deeper sense of balance that we'll be exploring. From here, whenever it naturally arrives, you can take a nice deep inhale breath through your nose. And take a big exhale breath out your mouth. And begin to lower down your chin. You can slowly open up your eyes. And from here, you'll gradually extend the legs forwards and front. You can shake them out, let them move here for a few seconds as you'd like. And from here, we're going to begin in what we call square pose. It's basically our cross-legged pose. You'll be taking your left shin and crossing it in front of the right. Please arrange this as you need to. Make sure there's no discomfort in your knees. You might even need like blocks or extra props to support that here. I'm going to use blocks to rest my hands in. Not required, but just a nice way to give yourself a bit of feedback, right? So find your setup, and as you're ready, take a gentle inhale and invite some length. A gentle exhale to ease into your fold. Remembering here, as we work into things, as we drop into things, that we never want to push to an edge where we feel strong sensations or sharp sensations. We never want to find any sense at all that maybe we'd be harming the body. So you can back in or out as you need to. Adjust these poses as you need to. Keep yourself safe here. Never do more than you really need. As we relax, as we settle, this letting go is emphasizing the yin energy, the calm, grounded sort of energy. We're still very much going to be focusing on that here, but what I'd like to add within this is an opportunity to feel the breath move. So inhaling to invite some length, to really feel the sense of expansion. Exhaling, you can feel yourself release and maybe feeling just the tiniest of movements. And this is so easy to overdo. I'm really talking just like millimeters. But we're inviting just the tiniest hint of movement in these poses, tiniest little shifts to explore our edge. Again, finding our balance, finding that sweet spot. So that we can be here, so that we can work with this in kind of a balanced way. Here, for now, you'll take one more complete breath as you are. Slowly, as you inhale, begin to rise up and take a moment, release your shoulders, your neck, and your back. Take a moment, release and extend the legs, shake them out. Let's take just like 3 or 4 breaths, a little pause to feel the initial settling, to feel the initial bounce back from what you've just done. From here, we can set up for the second side. So crossing the right shin in front of the left, try to kind of like bisect the shin bones, making sure there's no discomfort in your knees here and supporting yourself as you need to for that. Blocks can be nice to give you support, but not required, of course. Take a gentle inhale for that length. Take a gentle exhale to release your weight down and into your fold. Again, you don't want to push here. You're not trying to get as close to the floor as possible. You want to come just deep enough to be at your edge of sensation, that place where you can tell that the work is being done here. And then as you find that place for yourself here, we come back to the breath. We'll feel a subtle wave of expansion as we inhale. A subtle wave of release or of softening as we exhale. Nice, easy, natural shifts and movements. Not in a huge way, but just inviting a little bit of energy. Again, this hint of yang activity. Let the breath guide you, and again, really feel the breath in this intuitive way to help kind of finesse that for yourself. Take your final complete breath here like you are. Slowly, as you inhale, you can begin to rise up and find your way out of that fold. Maybe a little movement, a little roll of the shoulders, the back, all of that. Let's take a moment here and extend our legs, kind of release. Shake them out, let them move. We're going to take a little pause here. We're going to come on our belly, and I'm going to recommend that you set up your blanket here so it's like right in the middle of your mat. You can fold it over a second time to make that base for yourself. Then we'll rest for just a minute or so here in this neutral shape, but giving the back a chance to settle, giving the hips a little bit of a chance to settle. And take a few deep breaths here. Tune into that. Feel that. What have we already released? And can you already feel a sense of fluidity, a sense of movement again that comes from working in this slightly more yang way? We're inviting a bit of energy within the release. Let's take a deep inhale breath through our nose. We'll take a big exhale breath out our mouth. And we'll slowly begin to press up. We'll find our way onto our knees, and I do recommend having like a blanket or something to cushion your knees here. We're setting up for dragon pose, which is our low lunge. Blocks are a good idea here. You can set them up kind of near the side of your mat. You'll step your left foot up and come into a nice deep, long, low lunge. And as we approach this idea of balance kind of takes on even an additional meaning. So here we're balancing a necessary level of effort with a balancing quality of release or letting go. Line up here so you feel just the right edge, and this is a pose that doesn't need to feel easy, but it shouldn't feel sharp or aggressive. I'm going to invite the left knee to move off center. Maybe if you'd like, you can lower down and rest on your elbows here too. But again, feel this out, and as you feel this out, come back to your nice deep breath. And just feel you'll have moments where you'll need to gently engage, to stabilize. You'll have moments where it could be possible to release or to soften here. Maybe even introducing little subtle shifts. As you inhale, you could lift the head up a tiny bit. As you exhale, you could lean in a little bit, and especially if you tend to feel a little stuck in this pose or resist in this pose, those little hints of movement can actually be super valuable. So keep that in mind as a tool to explore, as a tool you might work with. Keep gently inviting your attention back into the experience. Keep tuning in to notice just what you're feeling here. Again, that equilibrium between effort and ease, between yin and yang. Find that here for yourself in this somewhat challenging pose, or maybe rather challenging pose. Please work with it patiently. We'll be here for just a few more breaths. In fact, actually, my timer just went off. So take one more complete breath. Slowly, you can begin to rise up. And as you come up, release that left leg back, let it move and reset, sway the hips, move however you would like. I'm going to pause in child's pose. That's a great place that you might rest. You could also lie on your belly or your back. Make sure you feel comfortable wherever you do choose for this. And take your few deep breaths here. Feel the body, feel the pose, feel really precisely just where you're at right now. Let's take a deep inhale breath through our nose. We'll take a big exhale breath out our mouth. From here, you can slowly rise your way up, and we'll set up for the second side of that dragon pose. So again, blocks are a great idea. Patting the knees, I'd say, is like almost required. This time, step your right foot forwards and find the right level of lunge for your body. And I should mention, if you find this pose challenging, I do have a tutorial where I go more in depth. You can find that on my page. So keep that in mind if this pose is, giving you some challenge here. Line up here and find that equilibrium. Yes, you need to work a little bit, but we are still relaxing. We're still really settling into this. Possibly letting that right knee wing out into a winged dragon, possibly lowering down to your forearms or your elbows here to dial this in. Again, can you truly find your sweet spot wherever that is? Dial this in so that it's just right for your body. And remember, challenge is not a problem per se, but pain or intensity we want to avoid at all costs. So feel this out in, again, a nice kind of balanced way for yourself. Not too strong, not too light. Maybe you invite some micro shifts, and by inviting these shifts, we're just inviting a hint of energy, a hint of fluidity, and these are small. I'm not even sure if you'll be able to tell that I'm moving much by looking at the camera. But these little shifts can keep us from feeling stagnant or stuck. They're a super valuable tool in your yin yoga arsenal here. There's that intention to remain present. We want to notice the breath. We want to notice the body here. Keep tuning into that here for yourself. Keep letting go of the many things you might not actually need here. The many things it might be possible instead to let go of here. Take your final complete breath like you are. Slowly rise up away from the earth, and from there you'll take your right leg back and let it move, let it reset, sway the hips. It's going to shift and really stir everything up a bit for yourself here. And then from there you can clear basically everything out and you'll start to make your way onto your back. So clear up your space. Find your supine position, spread onto the floor. So that here, as you open up, you can just rest in neutral. We'll take a minute or so here. So remember that these neutral poses are where we can really feel the deeper effects of the pose. We can really feel what we've begun to release, what we've begun to let go of. As you take that in here for yourself, take a few deep breaths and just invite that energy to flow and move, really feel just what that process is like for you. And let's take a deep inhale breath through our nose. A big exhale breath out our mouth. From here, you can walk your legs in. You'll have your knees bent and consider coming into just like a little sway or shift for a few seconds to prime the hips and the lower body. We're going to be setting up for banana pose, which is our big side bend. So from the middle here, lift up the hips and scoot them over to the left and then lower down. With the hips on the floor, take the legs long and move them to the right. And consider, if you'd like, cross that left ankle on top. And the shoulders move that same way. Arms will reach up and overhead that same way. So you're in a nice, deep side bend. As you complete this, as you finish this, and remember that this is not a twist. You're still just lying flat on your back. You can feel that nice pull on the left side of the body, and again, a slightly deeper breath if you would like, as you inhale, inviting space and opening. As you exhale, inviting softening, inviting some release there. And subtle micro movements, gradual little shifts within the pose. Truly feel as that helps you to open things up here, to let go of what you might actually not even need here. What can you let go of? What can you release? Feel that space open up here for yourself. Final complete breath just like this. Then slowly you can release your arms and your legs. You can unravel and make your way just more into the center of your mat, and pause and take a few breaths. Really feel the space and the lightness on the left side of the pose. Notice any sense of resonance, sense of calm. Again, we naturally tune into that as we drop deeper into our sequence. From here, you can slowly walk your feet in and you'll have your legs bent. With your legs bent, pick up the hips and scoot them over to the right side. There you can lower them down and start to move the legs a bit over to the left. Consider crossing your right ankle on top. Shoulders shift a bit to the left. You're dialing up this nice release on the whole right side rather of the body, that outside edge. As you lie down, ensuring that you feel comfortable, ensuring that you can really relax and be here. And then closing your eyes and doing just that. Relaxing towards the floor here. Now we're moving into a much calmer, more grounded sort of energy. Maybe starting to let go of that intention of yang, that intention of shifting and movement a little bit as well. other than maybe that nice deep breath that you'll feel moving through the whole right side of the pose. You'll feel those waves of expanding and contracting. Truly keep working with those, and again, keep letting go of the many things you might not actually need here. Take a final complete breath here, like you are. Slowly, as you exhale, you can release your arms and undo the cross of the legs. Shift and make your way here onto the center of your mat. And here in the center, you can open up the arms and the legs, and maybe after some brief movements, set yourself up for a final neutral pose, final Shavasana. So we can close our eyes, begin to drop in here, begin to settle in here. Scan the body and ensure that you're completely at rest. In this moment, we'll find balance by leaning even more into that yin sort of quality, into that grounded and stable sort of quality. And let's take a nice long inhale breath through our nose. Can open up our mouth to exhale and let that out. Rest here in quiet, rest here in relative stillness for the next couple of minutes. Truly allowing your system the time and space it needs to equalize, to rebalance here. So just take a few more breaths like you are to tune in and to connect. Feel what has settled and rebalanced in your body over those last few minutes. From here, beginning to deepen the breath to feel some little movements, maybe an inhale on your back to reach and extend here. On your exhale, draw in the knees and slowly roll to your side. From your side, gently press and find your way up into a comfortable seat. As you arrive there, one last moment here, close your eyes, tune in and connect. Feel the many shifts you've made in the body and the mind. And join the hands in front of the heart. So again, and as always, my deep thanks to each of you for sharing your practice. It's truly an honor to teach. And may our practice bring benefit to all beings. We bow. So again, thank you so much for joining. Like always, if you have thoughts or questions, anything at all, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, consider subscribing to my channel, and again, down in the description, I'll include some resources so you can deepen your practice with me.